What is happening, guys? Welcome back to Redbeard's Garage, and this is a special edition Road to Horsepower. This is the free Road to Horsepower.
Free, no parts whatsoever.
No, we're going to try to use everything we have here and in here to make horsepower. So I know people is going to want us to remove the governor, but we're not, because we can't put a flywheel on it, because this is a freebie.
Or valve springs, because those cost money.
Yeah, and we will bend the valve on this hog. This is a classic Jim's Dong engine. It's actually Jiang Dong. This comes on a bunch of Trailmaster Chinese like go-karts and stuff like that. Jim's Dong. It got so famous they put it on go-karts. So I think what we're going to do is dyno it, bone stock, like it is. It does have the throttle screw taken out. So how we're going to make more horsepower, because we can't spend any money, we can only use like random parts, like not parts, no. Because I have a crap ton of parts, so that wouldn't be fair. We're going to gut the muffler after we're going to dyno it stock, gut the muffler. We're going to take off the top of the air box and leave it as an open air filter. You're going to drill the jet with a torch file and port the head a little bit. What else? That's it.
Pretty much it, yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be exciting because this is like the cheapest. This is a 196. It isn't even a 212. It's a bottom. Jim's Dong is the bottom dollar engine. So let's get it on the dyno, see what it makes stock, and then start modifying. Woo! Okay. Jim's Dong, take one. Now what's down, Jimmy boy? I do a few pulls to get it up to temperature. Once it's up to temperature, about 180 degrees, and then we do the main dyno. Jim Dong, you can do it. If Jim can't, no, I can. Woo, 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 woo. All right. Also, we don't have the air-fuel ratio hooked up because it's a factory muffler. We can't get accurate reading anyway, so that's why it's saying that there's low power volts and whatnot and what have you. Jimmy let us down hard. Okay, so we made our peak torque right here. Oh, we made them at the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we made 7.61 foot-pounds of torque, 5.38 horsepower, an all-time champ of low numbers. Very impressive, Jim's Dong. Very impressive. Now,
Does have a long shaft though.
Jim's Dong has one of the longest shafts that I've seen on a small engine. I don't even know if we can call this a small engine. Kudos, Jim Dong. You had that long shaft and you just couldn't perform. Guys, we're going to take a break from the video to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Blaster and their white lithium grease. Blaster has been a huge sponsor of the channel for years now, and every time we do a video for them, they actually get more products. They keep growing by the day, it seems like. They're adding new products, new chemicals to make your life easier in the shop, especially with white lithium grease. A lot of people don't know the reason you would use white lithium grease and the places it can help you in your shop and around your house. White lithium grease is really good for door hinges, door latches, especially hitches on trucks. A lot of people never lube their hitch receiver balls or their lock mechanisms on their trailer. White lithium grease is a good formula to use in that situation. The best reason for it, it prevents rust, of course, it helps against water penetration, and it sticks around. It's a thicker type lubricant that'll kind of cling on to what you're using it on, so you don't have to reapply as often as you would with other chemicals. So make sure to check out white lithium grease and all Blaster's products in the video description. Blaster is a huge sponsor of the channel. We love using them in the shop. We have a ton of their products. You can even use this stuff on bearings as well as chains. Like I said, it helps to stick on there and not sling off. It's a thicker, good lube to use on all types of stuff around your shop. So check out Blaster. Now let's get back to making some free horsepower.
This engine made a very mediocre, like a little over 7 foot-pound of torque and 5.5 horsepower, which is very surprising. I didn't think it would be that low. But the 196 engines are the lowest performing engines always. The head flows the worst of all of them, and that's what that's what Jim Dong's engine was. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pull the muffler off, and we're gonna cut the muffler open and clamshell it and gut it on the inside, so it's just an open muffler. So that's a free horsepower gain. It's probably gonna backfire like the Dickens. And then we're gonna pull the jet out, and I have some files for a torch to clean the end of the torch. We're gonna drill it up, and then we're gonna pull the head off and port the head. So other than that, we're not gonna touch the governor or nothing. I think for free we could zip tie the governor where it lets it reach like 5 grams, but honestly, this engine is making peak horsepower and torque around, I think it's 3800. So I don't think it's going to gain that much by giving it more horsepower or more RPMs because of the cam that's in it. And we're going to be limited by how much the carb can flow as well. So I think these mods have not hogging out the force of them. I'm just cleaning them up. So I have to pull ahead just to see what and do that. So that's all we're going to start with right me out. Oh, and then to make it flow better, of course, we're just going to be pulling off the airbox like that and run it with an open air filter. You don't have to buy an air filter kit, although an air filter kit is a little bit better because this airbox 90s straight up to this filter, you're getting rid of that 90. So I'm real curious what part of sudden we would do all this and make stock horsepower numbers that I could keep level through. Then it's just making a lot of peak job with it then. So if it pulls out enough, we can get this unhooked. There's our stock carb. We'll pull the jet here in a few minutes. That'll be one of the last things we do. So if I owned one of these bikes, I definitely wouldn't even be wasting my time with any like specific parts. Like if you're buying wanting to put a Hemi on it later, I wouldn't buy a rod for this if a Hemi rod doesn't fit it. Look at how bad the port is. That'll be one way we can Dremel that out to make that flow a little bit better. And then, like I said, we'll have to figure out, this thing is like clamshelled. I don't know, I've never even taken one of these Muffler apart. See how the baffle works inside. This does have charging coils on its engine too. But again, since it's free horsepower, we're not putting the flywheel on it. And we'll see how lean it was running from factory. Oh shoot, that's got an ultra thin head gasket. It's running linear, and but that's factory jetted, so we didn't change this shit. So that's going to be, I'd say, just jetting it up like that will be our biggest plus. Well, that's crazy. I've never seen a head gasket fly that thin. But it seems thinner than the black one. Maybe it's not. It's just color throw me up. Okay, you can see the engine was brand spanking new. It's not like it's worn out. The pistons went in dirty. It was running lean, so again, fuel is going to make a big difference on that. Stock valve finger is the lightest. So all we're going to do is take out those rough edges and open up the port just to fuzz, especially the exhaust port. Actually, exhaust port don't look bad. I'm just going to, round out, open it up, and then we'll be done with the head. We can move on to jetting up the carb and gutting that muffler. The muffler is going to be this is time consuming. Muffler is going to suck just because it sucks to get them out. All right, we're going to take this muffler, cover it off. It looks like these mufflers just assembled by like crimping two sides together. So can we uncrimp them? So it's like it's crimped all the way around.
All right. So I left the side. So I did leave the side. We'll be able to clamshell that back on. See the baffle. So what happens is the muffler slot through there. So the only way air can get out is come through all these little hole channels. So with taking all this out and then cutting a larger area, this is going to be a blow through. This is a way you don't have to spend any money, but it's going to be ridiculously
It's free,
loud.
but your neighbor's gonna hate you.
Yeah. But I'm leaving this upper pipe because I'm going to weld a washer over it. You know, just cap this back off, because when we hook this like so, it's going to sound awful too. Like this is going to rattle so much, but you know what I'm saying? All right, we are ready to reconstruct. So it's good this grabs on still, lines up. Then all I gotta do is do 355 square foot of weld all the way around this thing. Then we'll weld this up around it, then lay a washer over, or you know, scrap piece of metal, and then we'll have what's going to be the loudest awful sounding muffler. And then we can taper this edge completely off there with a Dremel in a minute, easily caress that out, and if we cut in to the port any, we can weld it up, make it flow better. I will have to put screws in there to block this off, which we already have them. Okay, this old girl is fully TIG welded, but we got the seam welded all the way around, and then we was able to re-crimp this. It's going to rattle like death. So then I went and blended. I didn't take a ton of time on this because it's all just, but this was way worse than this. So this is going to flow a lot better, like the transition. So with that done, there's no point on a stock carburetor of hogging out the ports and like eating all the material you can, because you can't flow that much. And then with a bigger, fatter port and not enough carb to support it, you're going to have a lazy filling engine. And we say that with even big, if you put a large carb on a stock head, you're not going to flow it. You're never going to feel the performance gains that you could if you went with the proper size carb. So what I did was I kept the port the size, but you might be able to see in there, but I just cut out all those sharp transitions. This is super smooth and opened up, and then all the rough edges in there. Did the same on the exhaust, but I did open up the exhaust a little bit. I didn't polish it. You're not going to see enough. You're not going to tell that on the dyno, you know. We're with a stock carb, and it's going to be, this should be a decent little gain. We're hoping. We don't know. Crap, could make less. Who knows? Shouldn't. But I don't think I hit my seats any. I got the valves slid down in there to make sure there's no hold-ups on the valves. And then we can put our springs in and put a little brake cleaner around that. And if it leaks, then we know we need to seat our valves. I didn't hit the valves. They was fine before. Whatever. We just going with it. Now I can dress out this head. Stock springs are real nice. Sit there and just hand pop them in there. And on these 196s, the exhaust has the little lash cap. Okay, so set it to 20 foot-pounds. You loosen the nut on the very bottom.
Okay.
And then you turn that until 0 is at 20. Becca, you.
And then tighten it back up.
Yeah, tighten the nut up, yeah.
Actually, that's 15. I gotta go one more.
Unreal. Let me double check.
Are you underestimating me?
No, I'm over indicating. Yeah, now tighten the nut on the bottom of the rachete. And then you just go boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
Till she clicks. You're only, don't push on this part. I mean, you can hold it to stabilize it, but keep going, baby.
Okay.
Bam. Nope. Don't you dare. Diagonal.
I was just seeing if you noticed. What is that racket doing?
The trash trucks are outside. We can get in the trash.
Forgot it was.
Look at that dude. Dang, cinematic shot.
Okay, then what?
Then you can go to the top one if you want. I'll tell you, that freaking head's gonna flow like an industrial commode after that port job. One more to go, and then we can unreal. Put everything together. And that trash truck is loud. These trash guys are the worst too. They leave trash everywhere. It's like, oh, so we're only paying for 60% removal. Okay, now set it back down to 5 foot-pounds to put it up in the drawer, baby girl.
Okay. We're gonna choose one comment below in the video to send a torque wrench to.
Yeah.
So a free video, or free horsepower.
What?
Just cut that part.
What was you trying to say though?
It's free horsepower, so we're gonna help someone and send them a torque wrench.
Oh, I get. Okay. Yeah, we got this
I
over here.
can't get it.
Unreal.
Is it opposite?
No, it's not opposite.
I was just too strong the first time.
Hold this.
That was
It
so
was
easy
tight.
for
No,
you.
it was. Okay, so I've had this one forever. This one is from Napa. This is like a Napa brand one, so it's not garbage, but not amazing either. I'm wanting to get a better, like real high-end torque wrench set, but they're expensive.
But that one does the job.
Yeah, and we have one right here that a company sent us called Precise Built. Precise Built?
Yes.
So one comment, leave us something nice. This has never been used.
We won't ask you for money. We're not gonna send a WhatsApp message, like none
No.
of that. Blue check mark, Redbeard's Garage.
Never used it, but it is foot-pounds, and it goes from 10 to 100. And then it does Newton meters, of course, on the other side. So a company sent us this, so we're wanting to share it with one of you guys. So comment something down below, and you can get this in the mail. Again, we'll never ask for shipping money, nothing. If they're trying to take you to WhatsApp, if it ain't greg@rbgcarts.com email, don't mess with it. Like, that's the only thing. I don't understand how people fall for it in this day and age, but they still do. Technically, don't do this. Or do it, don't care, it's your engine.
Maybe you shouldn't say it then.
Now I'm gonna. You could take these and bend them to get ratio rockers out of them, but I mean, that might be too hard to do.
Risky business.
If you don't risk it, you don't see the gains. I mean, when I'm in the gym, you think I'm risking it? No, I'm just hitting the heaviest weights in the thing. The owner actually had to come and be like, hey, you have to take some of them weights off. No one else has any weights to use. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? Be weak my whole entire life? Teamwork. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's just always.
Never looking out for nothing, never.
It's always sitting everywhere.
Becca, if you guys don't know, has a beautiful personality, a beautiful face and body, and she's a great caretaker of our children, but she cannot walk through an empty hallway without falling. If there's a 1 millimeter tall tile, she's going to trip over that mug. Okay, I'm setting this at 3 thousandths, even though the stock cam calls for something else. I don't care. You can actually just set it on 0. Do a little baby jet. Then we need to jet her up. One of the last things we need to do is jet up the factory jet. So you can buy these torch cleaners. My dad always had one laying around, so we're not going to count this as any money spent because I actually had this forever. It came with a welder or something. and you can find the one that fits it the tightest. This one's kind of loose, so you might be able to go up to the next size, but just file a little bit at a time. This is a trial and error. This is only downside. This would be a spot you would want to spend money on because you can buy these jets for under $6 from EC Carburetors. So, and you can buy like a 10 pack of them so you can really fine tune it. This is going to be hard to do because you don't know how much you're filing it, but you're going to want to file it, open it up a little bit, and really it's just trial and error. You're going to have to run it, check your spark plug and see how it feels. Just keep doing this until you get the jet size good enough for your air intake setup. So that's all we're going to do is just keep filing it. So just keep filing that out, and like I said, you'll have to test it on your bike. This would be the only place I would really think most people would want to spend $6, but you can do it with just a little set of files. All right, I haven't put the air filter on because on the dyno, I also have to hook up the throttle, so I got to move the little air box thing. But you can see in here, there's the rear spring. There's 2 springs. The one I'm poking with a zip tie. That's the one you want to zip tie. Don't do this. This is basically a guide of what not to do. Okay, so you want to zip tie so the spring can still work. Just test it. The spring is still able to activate.
Because you don't have that flywheel. You want to max it out.
But seriously, it is dangerous, like all jokes aside. You will die. No, you might not. But you could. We got I don't like to flex money, but we did put in an in-ground pool the other day. Sorry to brag.
Little hazardous.
And we got pets in here sometimes. Little stinky boys. Come on, Jimmy. I'm gonna give you the beans, Jimmy. All right, so what we've learned, we already knew. But so what this means is deleting the governor or bypassing it somewhat, because it seemed like it keep on revving, but there's absolutely no point in doing that. Safety, number one, and just health of your engine with the stock rod. But the only thing you're going to get by zip tying the governor is more miles per hour, but you're going to have to rev the dickens out of it, and then you're putting yourself at risk of, so it's not worth zip tying the governor, because if you look here, our peak torque and horsepower was about 4,000-ish is where we made peak. Before with the rev limiter, we was stopping at 4,200. It's where the rev limiter is catching. So we didn't even have to remove, zip tie the governor, because it didn't help any. And torque was about 3,700, 3,800 RPMs. So that is very poop poor numbers. This is stock Predator 212, but that shows you how good a Hemi Predator head flows, stock engine does. So for free horsepower, yes, you'll gain a little bit, and we could play with the jets and but you'd have to have an air fuel ratio or a oxygen sensor to do that, to really find out where you got to pull your plug a lot. But I feel like this is about all this son of a gun will gain, other than spending a little money. If we bought a flat top piston just slapped in there, we gain a little compression. I don't think we'd gain a ton from that, but really we'd have to get into cam and a better carb to start going past that. So this is about all you can do for free, other than a little bit more carb tuning. You could possibly see a half a horsepower out of fully tuning the carb, but I ain't putting the time in it, you know what I'm saying? Jim's Dong let us down today. That long shafted Jim Dong engine is letting us down. All right, so Jim's dong basically boiled down to 17% more horsepower from the free upgrades, and I think it was 13% more foot-pounds of torque. And that's actually pretty decent numbers for spending no money whatsoever. Now, of course, this is about, we could have milled the head and stuff like that if you had a belt sander, but I didn't want to do that because you have no control over how much you're milling and things like that. But that's a pretty decent gain, especially if you watch our Road to Horsepower series and see in what like jetting up the carb and air filter and exhaust does that you would purchase. We gained some pretty decent numbers, but the fact that we started with a 196cc, the worst performing engine that we've ever seen on the dyno, that hurt us in the long run, of course. If we would have did this, you can expect the same amount of horsepower out of a 212. So, you know, of course, gaining 17% more horsepower on a 212 would have been a lot more horsepower than this 196 at the end of the day. So that's why I'm always saying displacement. There's no replacement for displacement. So make sure to always start with the biggest engine you can because you're going to make more power at the end of the day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let us know what you thought about it in the comment section below. This engine was just sitting around. We're actually going to put it back to stock other than the head being ported. We're going to throw a stock jet back in it, the air box and the stock muffler back on it, and then just set it on the shelf because we won't even build this engine in the future. But also check out Blaster. They've been a huge sponsor of the channel for a long time. Thank you, Blaster, for sponsoring today's video. Check out the full line of Blaster products in the video's description. And let us know what you think about the free horsepower video. What could we have done to make even more power, in your opinion, for no money? Let us know, and thank you guys for watching. Me and Jim's dong, we're out. We love you, and God bless.